you get to see that, the thing on there. Welcome to Insights and Perspectives, our weekly San Jose Santa Clara League of Women Voters program. We're so happy you've joined us. Remember, League is a nonpartisan political organization encouraging informed education and active voter participation in all forms of our government. We influence public policy when we can through advocacy and education. Today's topic is a very important one for the San Jose Santa Clara region, and we'll be focusing on our regional wastewater facility with our very special guest, Kerrie Romanow. And Kerrie's the director of the San Jose Environmental Services. But before we get into today's feature topic, Kerrie, and all of its capital improvements, which are so impressive, please share with us how you came to lead this organization for our city. And also, it is an important arm of our local government, but it does all types of services, doesn't it, connected to the environment. Can you tell us about you and what you do?
Certainly. And first, thank you so much for having me. I think this is a fascinating topic, and welcome the opportunity to share a little bit more about it with our community. As far as how I got here, a lot of luck. just a lot of luck. This job is the culmination of everything I've done in my career, and I'm just thrilled to be able to do it every day, and thrilled at the team I get to work with. So we're very fortunate.
500 people?
We have 500 people. Our budget's about $212 million a year.
Wow.
And it's all utility funded. So we do wastewater treatment. We run a potable water system that services about a third of the city.
Wow.
And we also do all the solid waste, so garbage and recycling, watershed protection, and the sustainability initiatives for the city, energy, green building, et cetera. So lots of diversity, always something exciting to do.
Yes, right. And on the tip of everyone's tongue these days, because of the issues and our environmental issues in general. At least our children are learning about it. We adults are a little slower to move on some of these things.
Well, I think certainly our children help move us a little bit more quickly than maybe we're comfortable with, but I think our population's pretty educated in this region, and certainly just connected to the environment and keeping our community vital and thriving for decades to come.
Right, right. And of course planning ahead all the time. The wastewater facility, which I understand is a new name for this very important facility, which has had other names in the past and actually has quite a history too.
It is. It's a really neat facility. We're out in the Alviso area on about 2,600 acres.
Wow.
And we've been known as the San Jose Santa Clara Water Pollution Control Plant for decades. And just a few months ago, we officially changed our name to the San Jose Santa Clara Regional Wastewater Facility. It's a more current name, a little less 70s-ish. And most importantly, it was something that was staff-driven. The operators, mechanics, electricians out at the facility really wanted something a little more current. They preferred not to have the word pollution in there, since they feel like they're preserving the environment. And so staff came up with the name through some internal workings. And I owe somebody a pizza party, and and we're off and running. So we're pretty excited about the new name and new logo, and it's a way to really move forward. And as we begin to embark on the biggest capital improvement program we've ever done, we're embarking on a $1 billion program.
Wow, that's a lot. Yeah, compared to several other giant projects in this area, doesn't it?
It is. It is. I understand that the BART to San Jose is about $1 billion project. So we're right in there, although we're staying in San Jose, and I don't think we'll branch out.
No. Your region, though, does cover several of our other cities, doesn't it?
We do. We service 1.4 million residents, and we have about 17,000 business connections. We serve San Jose and Santa Clara are the owners of the facility,
Okay.
and we also serve the Cupertino wastewater sanitation districts.
Okay.
So Cupertino Sanitary, West Valley Sanitation. West Valley includes Campbell, Campbell, Los Gatos, Monte Sereno, and Saratoga, and then we also serve the city of Milpitas.
Okay. I know that on your website, which I enjoyed visiting, by the way, it had a map, and I had no idea that it reached out to so much of our region.
Well, yes, the Alviso area that we're located in is the lowest point in the region. So most of what we receive is gravity fed.
Oh, okay.
A
That's
couple pump
interesting.
stations along the way, so it all sort of flows in. And we treat anything, any of your clothes washing residual, showers, flushing, business waste, any of that. We take it and we go through our process and then discharge into the bay.
Right. So it ends up in the San Francisco Bay.
It is. It's very clean water by the time it gets to the bay. We actually discharge into 2 feet of water.
Oh.
But we're the largest advanced wastewater treatment facility on the West Coast. So west of the Mississippi, we're the largest.
That is also, I think, quite impressive when you think about what all we are doing.
It is, and if we go back to when we started, so I think we have a picture of the second picture.
Yes, right. I think it was B, and we'll bring it up so that people can see what the team looked like.
We opened for business in 1956. What I think is interesting about that is the house I live in was built in 1947.
Oh,
so
there they are. All right.
So there's the opening of the facility, and we've operated continuously since then. So we're one of the only regional only facilities that I know of, certainly in our region, that's operated nonstop since 1956.
Right.
And I'm personally thankful we haven't stopped operating. So we opened up in 1956 as a primary treatment facility. So we just did a very low level of treatment, mostly for agricultural wastewater and our growing population. Secondary treatment was initiated in 1964 in response to more population growth and more need to clean up the bay a little bit more. 1979, there were more Clean Water Act regulations, and that added tertiary treatment, so our third level of treatment. And then in 1998, we started South Bay water recycling, again in response to some emerging water regulations.
Right.
And so here we are in 2013, ready to rebuild that structure that's been evolving over the past almost 60 years.
Yes, that's quite a history. And of course, we were primarily an agricultural valley when they began. And much of that's been replaced, of course, by homes and suburbia and of course, our whole Silicon Valley tech industry as well. So it's grown along with our entire community, which makes sense, doesn't it?
It has, and we're continually adjusting to respond to changing industries. You know, everyone sends us what they send us, and we work with natural bacteria and other materials to just treat the water. We sort of mimic how nature would treat water. It's a 10-hour process. And then it finds its way out to the bay. The liquid part does. The biosolids are a little bit different.
And they're treated differently.
They are treated differently. That's a little bit longer process, and we use solar aeration. So when the facility was originally built on the 2,600 acres, it was envisioned that the biosolids would just stay. They would always stay there. We would just spread them out around the land. Clearly, that's not our vision in 2013. So we're moving forward with some plans to transition the biosolids operation into a little bit more current technology.
Is that covered with your capital improvement?
That is. That's one of the larger capital programs, and it will free up a lot of the land for redevelopment, which is an exciting opportunity as well.
I think we have a picture of the size of this property. which was, I think, our A. If we could, oh, there it is, yes. And that's such a great illustration because when you're on the land itself, having visited the facility, you have no sense of how big it is. And you're told the water's going to the bay, but of course this picture shows that there's the bay, and that's where it ends up in that 2 feet of water, which is amazing. And then of course the park that's right across from the facility too, with so you can appreciate a lot of that land. In fact, I think your website said it's as large as Golden Gate Park, or
It is.
Oh my!
We're about the size of Golden Gate Park.
Yeah, that's quite amazing.
Very different land use, but,
Yeah.
but about the size of Golden Gate Park.
Yes, absolutely.
We do have a growing burrowing owl population, which is very nice. We've done some work in the open space over the last year, and we've increased our population from 2 to 10.
Oh.
So we're particularly proud of that.
They're awfully cute. They really are. They're a bit of a nuisance, I think, to airplanes, but
well, and they're not as many as there used to be. So we're doing our part to give them a nice place to continue to grow.
Right. And now, in terms of Milpitas, since they're part of the facilities use as well, are there any accommodations for the? I've heard complaints maybe about air pollution from the plant or anything like that. Is that any kind of issue for them anymore?
Certainly the facility is right now not fully enclosed.
Okay.
So many more recently constructed wastewater facilities have everything covered. And that's our vision as we move forward, that we would have fully covered operations. We work very closely with the city of Milpitas, and if the city of Milpitas has complaints indicating that they believe there's odors that are reaching Milpitas that are coming from our facility, they give us a call. We very quickly scan the facility and take the Bay Area Air Quality Management District on tour. We're very open about it. We think we've done a very good job of mitigating the odors and being a good neighbor, and we're certainly committed to being a better neighbor as we embark on this construction project. Right.
And there are options in terms of space, and with the new funding, you'll have the ability to move ahead in terms of those things.
Well, we haven't actually secured all the funding, so so we're moving forward with the planning stages right now. So our capital program I mentioned is about $1 billion. Over the next 20 years per se, we'll probably spend $800 million in the next 8 to 10. And so what we've done is we've broken it down into 3 packages. The first package is ongoing capital renovations, and that's about $40 to $60 million a year for the next 30 years. Package 2 is more discrete, large-scale projects, and that includes the biosolids transition, new energy systems, because our energy systems, we're actually running World War II vintage engines.
Oh my!
So it's time to move forward, and it's very hard to find parts. So our staff right now are actually machining parts.
Yes.
On site and doing the best they can to keep them operating. But we're ready to move forward. And then so there's energy generation, filter, and we need new filters, and then biosolids transition. That's about a $400 million bucket of work. And so that's package 2. Package 3 is unknown regulatory changes. As I mentioned, our facilities evolved over time due to changing regulation. We expect that to continue.
Right.
So we're just planning for that.
And we'll just pause right now for a quick fact. It's again so nice to have you with us, Kerrie. And some of this, I'm sure, is going up, above people's heads because there's so much detail in plans. But this kind of an operation does take long-range planning with a skilled staff and looking to sustaining our environment, and I think your goals are marvelous.
Well, thank you. I'm particularly proud of the staff we have. We have just a really wonderful set of committed staff. I mentioned that we're running on some World War II
Yes.
engines, and
Wow.
it takes some really innovative, crafty folks to think about how to problem solve that. And we've got about 120 people out there on any given day. And if folks are looking for a new career, there's a statewide shortage of wastewater operators.
Wow.
There's a shortage of mechanics right now, and then engineers who focus in wastewater. And most facilities in the U.S. were built in the same time frame as ours with federal funding, and almost all of them are embarking on upgrading programs. And I find once we get you out there and on our team, folks just don't want to leave. They want to stay. And so we're doing our best to retain folks and keep them focused. But it's a real fun place to work. And think about all the things you got to do as a kid. You got to deal with mud. And, we get to do all those fun things out there. So I encourage folks to think about it as a career. It's a great place to take care of your family and do really fun things every day.
Right, which are needed. And with the increase of population, needed more and more and more. Water is not going away. It's becoming a greater shortage. And how we use it and recycle it and make it something that can be passed on.
Well, yeah, I think about how our daily lives would change, how the Silicon Valley would change, and maybe not be the Silicon Valley if this facility wasn't here. I mean, we operate every day. People, put things down the drain and just assume we're going to take care of it. And I'm proud to say we do. The team out there really is committed to that. But you turn on the tap and you get water, and you send your discharge to us, and we take care of it. And the Bay is thriving. It's doing better than it has 20, 30 years ago. We're cleaning our water to 99% cleanliness.
Yeah.
And then we also are running a recycled water system, and we're reusing about 10 million gallons a day, up to 14 in some of our peak months. And that, again, keeps waste out of the Bay, but it also makes sure there's enough water for our agriculture, for landscaping, for golf courses. And we all think those things are important.
Yes, we do. And we kind of take them for granted, I'm afraid. It's a bit spoiled, I think, in this valley in that regard.
We, unfortunately, if we're doing a good job, you don't hear about us.
Yes.
If we have an upset and we forget to do something, it's front page news.
Yeah.
So we'd like to be known for doing a good job.
Right.
But we understand nobody really wants to talk about it.
Yes, yes. Well, in 2025, I think either you shared that with me or the website did, that we're looking to greater water shortage.
We do, working closely with the Santa Clara Valley Water District, their water projections are planning to have to have the need for additional water sources in about the next 15 or so years. And so we're working closely with them on a master plan for our recycled water system, really seeing how we can leverage the assets that we have, and rather than just cleaning and discharging into the Bay, how we might be able to better use South Bay water recycling and reuse that water. We're going to get folks comfortable with that idea. I mean, if you think about it, all water is recycled.
Yes.
So it's not really that different. At least we're cleaning it and filtering it and testing it. So we're going to continue to work with the water district to get folks comfortable with it and really ensure that the valley can continue to thrive. And whether that means growth or not, our political leaders will decide. But certainly from a quality of life standpoint, we're committed to doing our part on that.
Absolutely.
One other thing I forgot to mention is that our wastewater facility we generate 75% of our own power.
Oh, is that the solar power?
We run on the methane gas that we produce, so we're using biogas, and we're continuing to move forward in that direction. We also have a fuel cell, so we're hoping to be 100% self-generated by the time, probably 5 to 10 years.
Right.
So it's kind of exciting that we're doing our part from a greenhouse gas emission standpoint as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, people can tour that facility.
They can. Our public tours have been shut down effectively. We're a little short on staff right now, so that was an optional service. But certainly, if folks want to schedule something with a group, there's a number on our website. They can call that number, and we're happy to accommodate folks.
Right, right. I think you brought us one more picture, which might help to supply or explain some of the water treatment.
So if you see
Oh,
in this
there it
picture,
is, yes.
this is just before our discharge point. So on that bridge is some sampling equipment that makes sure we're quickly notified if there's a problem. And you can see the bay's right behind it. It's very shallow, and you can see just beyond the bridge there's also some birds swimming along, and it's always nice to see birds and fish right at the discharge point, thriving and doing well.
That's a telling point that the water is okay. Otherwise, they would not be there. Smarter than a lot of people, right? I think that's fascinating, though, to see how that works, and again, that's all located in the same area, isn't it? It's all in the land.
It's all just we're located in between Alviso and Milpitas, right off Zanker Road there by the landfills.
Zanker, that's right. I knew it was a familiar road. I just couldn't remember the name of it. Anyway, but thank you for sharing that one with us. I was lucky enough to take one of those tours, so I do remember seeing a good deal of what you have accomplished in that site and with what you're doing for the future, too. Is there anything else that you would like to share with us in terms of our future? I know you mentioned some of the other services that we're aware of, and I think a lot of people don't realize that that is part of your department, and it's not being done by the water company or PG&E or that sort of thing.
We collect all the solid waste, and we manage the haulers that do that both from the residential sector and the commercial sector, and we're now at a 75% diversion rate, so that's very exciting that we're one of the leading recycling communities in the nation, so that's exciting.
Is that the entire region or just San Jose?
I only have the San Jose numbers.
Okay.
I know about everybody else's wastewater, but I only know about our other solid waste. And you know, our rates are very competitive. So if you look in the local area, we're in general not more expensive than others, and very cost competitive, but doing some really innovative environmental work. You know, I guess one of the things I bring up from a financial standpoint is, as we look towards this billion-dollar program, we're getting bonds. We're going to do some long-term financing and spread the cost of this over a generation. So we're not looking at rapidly escalating rates. We're really trying to be as financially conscious as possible while maintaining the infrastructure. So we're very frugal where we can be, but I really want to build a facility that's going to last.
Right.
I don't want to
Now,
redo this.
You mentioned the one when we started it in '56 that we had some federal money. Is the federal in this future or no?
They're not. They're not. They're
so
no longer providing funding.
Okay.
So this is all of us. I'm a San Jose resident. This is all of us contributing and you know, really making sure that it continues to operate in a prudent fashion. So
I think it reflects on our personal values as a city if we do this. Certainly getting rid of the plastic bags was a personal value as we shop in San Jose versus shop in Campbell or Los Gatos or some other place that has not chosen to pass the no plastic bag.
Well, the Bring Your Own Bag ordinance has been fantastically successful. I mean, we've done surveys in the community. We're seeing trash reductions, visible trash reductions in open fields by 40% in a year, and it only applies in San Jose, as you mentioned. We're also moving forward with exploring banning styrofoam or EP, expanded polystyrene, in takeout containers. That's also very harmful for marine life and is creating some visible litter. So we're working on a draft ordinance that will come forward this fall.
Oh, wow.
And we found some cost-competitive replacement products.
Oh, that's important, I think, for our merchants and
yeah, and we're actually having a vendor fair in June where we're showing the restaurants how they might repackage their to-go food.
Okay.
And we can help any restaurant do one-on-ones, meet them up with other
interesting.
vendors to get discounts, and we're really looking not to have this cost significantly more.
Oh, good, good. I think it's an entire package, really. When you look at your department and everything it does, from the things that hit us right at home to the water we drink and what we water our plants with, and of course the flushing of the toilets.
Yeah, we have both ends of the water spectrum and all ends of the solid waste spectrum.
Right.
So we've got quite a bit of fun activity, and we're always looking for resident and business input. So if folks have ideas, email us, call us. We're flexible. We work for you all, so we're here to help and we're here to listen.
Right, right. Well, it's a region with a lot of diversity in terms of kinds of homes people have, kinds of business we have, and the services that are needed for us. The ones that we don't like to think about sometimes, but are very, very essential.
Yeah, I think our region is very pragmatic. We want to do things that protect the environment, but we also want it to make financial sense.
Right.
And I think that's why some of the programs we have as a community tend to get traction and work out, because if the money makes sense, they typically make sense, and we're able to sustain them in the long term. And so we keep the financials, the economics, and the environment all, and the people part. What do our residents want?
Right.
We bundle all those together, and hopefully are delivering programs that hit that spot for folks. And to the extent they're not, we'd really like to hear from people.
Right. Well, I like the idea of you being open to that input, and the fact you have reached out to the community for many of these things. And
We admit we have a lot to learn.
Oh,
We're trying.
Well, I think all of us do. And the larger the area is to manage, the more difficult it can become as well.
Or the better leverage you get.
Oh,
So you can
yes.
do really great things and spread it out over a larger community,
Working both
which is
ways,
nice.
yes. We want to encourage people to go to your website. You had mentioned it, and I want to mention it again to everyone, that it is at the City of San Jose's website with the little slash and then the R, I think we're running it up there. Yes, it's RWF after it, and it has all kinds of information about how to get input and also learn things. And I like the idea if a group was interested in touring and seeing more of that facility, and the fact that it's supporting itself through green and methane, and so its power is coming from all these natural ways. And
Well, yeah, and I know you had the opportunity to go out there,
Yes.
so you can fully appreciate just what a fun
Yes.
place it is.
it is, and the people, as you said, I can see they are excited to be working there.
Yeah, we're very
Right.
fortunate.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Kerrie. It was a wonderful, wonderful time, and I've learned a lot, and I think people from the League will learn a lot, as well as our community.
Well, thank you so much for the invitation.
Yes, and be sure to go to our League site to learn more about the League of Women Voters, and join us again for Insights and Perspectives.